everybody, this is Michael J. I wanted to shoot a quick video because one of the questions I get asked all the time is, can you really buy property? Can you buy houses with no money down? And I'm kind of sick of the question, but honestly I get it a lot. So here I am going to answer it. And not only going to answer it, I'm going to give you 15 ways you can buy property with no money down. Okay? So get out your pens, get out your pencils, and start taking notes, because here we are. We're going to go right through it. We're going to answer this right now. So, number one, you can actually put a transaction together where it's an all-cash transaction, and you wholesale the property by an assignment of contract. Okay, that's one way. So you actually, you basically don't actually buy the house. You get it under contract. You assign your contract. You make a profit. No cash needed. No credit needed. Done deal. Okay. Another variation of that, again, all cash contract, to where you wholesale by doing a double closing. Okay, that's number two. Number three, another all cash transaction where now you actually fund the transaction and you use a hard money lender. Typically, a hard money lender does not care about anything other than the loan to value on the property that they're funding. Condition doesn't matter. All that matters is you're paying a cheap price for the property, and they will fund 100% of the property. Sometimes they'll even fund 100% of the property plus the rehab costs. Okay. Number three, very similar to number four, very similar, is an all-cash transaction where you, instead of using a hard money lender, you're going to use a private money lender. Okay. So now you go, friends, family, relatives, people you know who have underperforming IRAs or money in CDs that's not doing too terribly well. You use their money to fund your transaction through the title company, and that's the funds you use to close on the deal. Private lenders are not going to give you the same I guess stringent rules that a traditional lender is going to give you. Okay, you kind of create your own rules when you're dealing with private lenders, where in the commercial transaction or the commercial world, you have to play by their rules, and they typically want down payments, put your credit up, put your everything you own at risk, and we want to avoid that. So now another way is to do a property that you can pick up at a very reduced price. So number five, you buy it cheap and you use the private money or the hard money lender. You get in title if you need to, you add value, you do the renovation, and then you refinance based on the equity position. Okay, so you come in, let's say 70 cents on the dollar minus repairs, or 65 cents on the dollar minus repairs, whatever it is in your area that is kind of normal to buy them at. You fund the transaction and the rehab, and then once the property's fixed, you refinance, pay off the hard money loan, put a new traditional loan on the property based on not what you paid for it, but what the loan to value is on the property. Okay, therefore avoiding the need for a down payment. Okay, your equity basically is the down payment, because you're doing refinance rules, not new purchase rules. Totally different. Okay. Number six, now we're getting into more of the creative finance stuff, and we're going to talk subject to. Subject to, the existing financing is a great way to purchase property. You take over an existing loan on the property, and I get a lot of people seem to have this misnomer that people have to be, on foreclosure's doorstep before they actually deed the property. And I would tell you, out of several hundred transactions we've done, I think I've caught payments up on a couple, like less than what I could count on one hand. So most of the transactions I do, literally people make one payment on the way out. So I'm buying it with no money down, and I literally have 30, 45 days, sometimes even longer. I've done as much as I think 4 months before I've actually made a payment on that, and that was all part of the agreement with the seller. So subject to, very good way to do it. Another variation of subject to, number seven, subject to where the owner waits on their equity. So a seller carries second mortgage on the property. So you buy it subject to the existing loan, and the additional equity the seller waits on with the second mortgage. And most of those I tend to do no payments, no interest. Number eight, subject to deal. You sign up the deal, and then you assign the deal to another investor and or owner occupant. So now you basically create the deal and you flip it. Okay, instead of like wholesaling or assigning a contract on a junker, now you can do this with pretty houses or somewhere in the middle. And again, you can do this with investors and or owner occupants. So an easy way to flip those. Let's see, subject to assignment. Number nine, installment sales. In Colorado, we use what's called an installment land contract. In other states, we call it different things. It might be an all-inclusive trust deed. But ultimately, it's the owner or the person that's selling it stays in title, okay? But they give you a contract for deed, okay? It means you pay me. Once you pay me off, I give you the deed, okay? Very simple. You still have ownership. You just don't have your name or your entity's name recorded downtown, okay? Not, in my opinion, not as good as Subject 2 because the seller might do something to get some judgment on the title that is out of your control. So another variation is wrap financing, where you've got an existing loan on there, and instead of paying off that loan, you wrap another mortgage on top of that one, and you create some kind of variation of the terms there. Now that's a little trickier because you are blatantly violating the due on sale clause. When you do that, typically you're going to use a separate insurance policy, so you don't have a red flag to the lender that the title's transferred. Number 11, 100% owner financing. And this is great when you've got free and clear properties. And about a third of the properties out there are free and clear. Now, if they're free and clear, telling you not going to be necessarily as motivated, but we've done several transactions where they are free and clear properties, and for whatever reason, the seller wants a flexible solution to sell. And typically, there's probably 101 gazillion ways we could structure the actual owner financing note, but typically you can get them to finance the entire purchase of the sale, and I do that quite regularly. Lease options, another way to acquire property with no money down. Typically, on a lease option, I will get at least 30 days, if not 60 or 90 days, or I might not even guarantee a payment until I find my first subtenant or subtenant buyer. You can do a lease option as a performance-based lease option, meaning you only pay when you collect from a subtenant. So your subtenant pays you, you pay the owner of the property. Okay. 14, variation of that, which is more normal, where whether you've got a subtenant or not, you still pay the owner of the property whether you're collecting from a subtenant or not. Okay. That's more like the guaranteed payment. And again, lease options number 15, you can take the lease option and you can create the deal with the seller or the owner of the property, and then you can assign that to a second party, or to another party. Sorry, you might be the second party, that'd be the third party. So lots of parties going on here. Therefore, another investor might be interested in, or again, a tenant buyer who wants it, and you're basically signing the agreement and you're putting this person with the seller, and you get paid for setting up that transaction. As a principal, you create the transaction as a principal, you assign your agreement to somebody else. Okay? I'm going to keep going. We hit our 15, but I'll keep going. Short sales, another great way. Basically, you short the loan, or you get a reduced payoff on the loan, and basically you double close it. Once you get a reduced payoff, you find another buyer willing to pay you any amount more than that, and you double close to either an investor or an end user. And you get paid the difference between what the lender agrees for the payoff and what the end buyer agrees to pay you for the property. And basically, another situation, you might take the short sale, discount the loan, come in with hard money, get in title, fix it up, and either refi or resell. You can short it, double close it to an investor, short it, double close it to an end user. Lots of different variations. I know I'm going over the board. I only told you 15. We're going to keep going. Once you get me started, try to get me to shut. But ultimately, what you got to understand, you got to have leads. You got to get leads coming in. Okay. You got to analyze the numbers. You got to make your offers. You got to follow up, and ultimately close on your deals. And once you get the system down, once you understand these tools in your toolbox, go out there, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Just keep at it. Once you get it down, I just gave you over 15 different ways you can go out, buy properties without using your own money. So you've got no excuses. Go out, go buy a house. All right. If you want some more information, I've got a ton of free stuff right on my website. You don't need a credit card. You don't need to do anything. Just plop your email address. I'll give you a ton of free, valuable, creative real estate investing. Just check out the link over here. Click on that. Go to my website, sign up, and I'll give you a ton of free stuff. All right. This is Michael Jake. Have a great day.